That was easily the biggest bullshit I've ever seen in my life. But I've decided I'm not gonna get mad over this game anymore. It's just not worth it. Like, this game is broken beyond belief, and there's nothing I can do about this. I'm just curious if this has happened to anyone else. Bro, there is no chance like that I landed on my side. Like, I went for minimal airtime, land on the side wheels. I mean, that's how you're supposed to do it. Well, let's see, this is a really close round, no bigger mistakes. Let's see if anyone fails the finish. Looks like one guy did. So just 2 bigger mistakes. I think these guys might have touched somewhere early. I didn't even think about maybe going on the left. Like, I didn't even know the way there is open. Thought it was blocked. Well, let's see. Carl was really fast, so maybe he does something differently here. I mean, he just jumps straight. So I guess in this game that's safe and that's how you gotta do it. Pat Rose is dead. And he does it really safe. Just I don't see anything spectacular. He's just using his brain and knows that he doesn't have to risk. Gets low 48. So that should be good enough for top 10. Then he might need to push it a bit more. Alright, so apparently there are no secret tricks or any hidden shenanigans in this map. So let's just focus on whoever is the last done. I mean, other than this start, but I don't think it's that big of a difference, like, it doesn't really matter. Oh, we got one death. It wasn't Marius. Jack or G completely out with that. Like, at this point I don't expect 4 others to make such big mistakes. Hazinka seems to be out as well. Booney dropping down, same as Polmar, but Shad clips. Could be the end for him as well, so Polmar might be saved if someone else makes a mistake, but then he makes another one. Don't think anyone has failed to finish. Yeah, Exotica finishes in 22nd. So apparently people are getting the cam bug, which is sometimes when cams are forced, and the cams don't change. Which is why right now if you're playing online, it's a very good idea to manually switch cams rather than let the game do it for yourself. That's just the state of the game right now, unfortunately. Let's see what Granadi can do. Like, I remember him being almost out in one of the early rounds, then a couple of people failed the end. So he survived. I think he did really well in the time attack seeding. So one guy crashes there on the left. Let's see, it's Booney and Kenry also far behind. Booney is completely out. This guy as well. Marius a bit behind. Let's see if anyone is gonna clip here on the right. One guy, I think that was Norley. So Marius needs to overtake another one. He is quite far behind, so he might require a mistake here. He's catching up a lot here, but looks like Mime sacrificed himself for Marius. So pace just wasn't enough, but I might have missed the Mime. I don't know what he did. But he did save Marius. I don't know what Kontsovka is, or however you pronounce that. Oh, Barbus barely survives there. He had to release a lot, which is why he's together with Marius. Oh, he doesn't drift there. Well, Neodim is dead, but Barbus still has the job on his hands. Looks like he got it pretty nice. Should have a lot more speed than some of these people. He is catching up. I think he's gonna get decent exit speed, so as long as he manages to do this full speed... Oh, he goes so close. Barbus, can he just overjump this? Insane last section by Barbus. One from like 17th to 6th. And this is a really good round. Marius is out with plus less than 0.4. So definitely you need a low 48. Like even releasing in the wrong section just might kill you at this point. So the level is pretty decent, and we are into the 2 KO portion of the tournament. Let's see, nobody makes a mistake now in the start. Only a Volnera and Scrappy just slightly behind, but they're still fine. Like, this is always the crucial section. Who is gonna do this release the best? Let's see, still on board with Volnera. You want to avoid the drift. Without these crashes, he's definitely gonna go out. Now we just gotta see who is the other one gonna be. Looks like Volnera is still in 13th, but Shorty crashes. Carl, can he just make the jump? Yes, he does. Oh, Volnera. And he finishes. Mad save there by Volnera. That could have gone a lot worse. But credit to him, he reacted very quickly and took full control of the horrible situation, and he lives to fight another day. Yeah, let's go with him. Because he was a bit behind, so maybe he can't really keep up in pace, let's see. Or maybe he just had a sloppy round overall. Oh, this time he gets the proper start. Like, nobody super far behind. Like, Tricky can catch up this much for sure in this downhill. But not with that line, he can't. So right now it's Javza who might be going out. Nobody crashes. Oh, Ratchet. I think Ratchet is out. Let's wait for him in the next CP. Oof, Rev! With a huge mistake, so Ratchet just might be saved. Maybe Tricky is actually gonna get saved. Ratchet can't make it. Jav's a huge mistake there, and what an absolute mess of a round there. So Tricky, who crashed first, actually ends up in 9th. Frevder couldn't keep the full speed line. Ratchet, he made a mistake there before the wall ride and just never recovered speed-wise. Should have gone for the lower finish, and he would have been in. Yeah, Frev also should have just used the fast respawn. Some bad decision making there. So let's see if Tricky can take advantage of living for another round. Or if he's gonna go out straight away. That's a dodgy turn there, had to release. So once again, he is in a dire position. Worker seems to be dead, but we've seen comebacks like that, so let's not count him out yet. Tricky again, same mistake, but Azir makes an even bigger mistake now. The question is, where's Worker? Worker makes that mistake as well, and Snow and Barbos now with mistakes. How is Tricky not going out with this? So it's actually Asian who's gonna get saved. Barbos, go lower. Well, let's see, doesn't mess that up. He is out anyway. But Worker could have easily been in here. Like, if only he kept it together instead of making an additional mistake. So players are completely falling apart now after a couple of really sick rounds. The last couple of rounds have been really dodgy. I think only, I don't know, Granadi and Carl have been consistently up there. I've seen the rest all fall down at various points. So those two look the best right now. Others will need to step it up a bit. Snow gets a really nice start. Carl isn't last, but this is really not that big of a deal. It's all about this turn. Asian barely avoids disaster there. Javzo has to release, so he is dropping down. Well, let's see who's gonna carry the most speed through here. Oh, Snow is dead. Can all of these guys just survive the end? They can't afford to release. I think all of them have enough speed to make the upper one even with releasing. So that's gonna be the end for Snow then. Times are still slower than around the top 20 mark. Like, not just the guy who's in last, but also the guys in orange and yellow. Also not as fast as they were back then. Let's see, Asian completely mistimes that. We've got another huge mistake right now in the start, so let's just see if the others can survive the rest of the map. I mean, they can't afford to save it, like, if they know that Asian is completely dead. They can obviously go for the lower finish if they want. Looks like they don't. Which is fine. So in a round like this, of course, it is understandable that the times aren't gonna be that good. Like, the map can be hard if you have to go full risk. So it's better to just release it whenever you feel like you need to and get safely across the finish line. Top 6 now, and I think Carl, Scrappy and Granadi have looked the best. Should have added the Scrappy to those two earlier. I think he also hasn't really had any dodgy moments. Let's see. This time his drift is by far the worst. So he is already almost 0.3 behind. We'll have some work to do in the next section here. Tricky doesn't make that mistake. So everyone is still in the game. Scrappy trying his best. Maybe if he has an insane wall ride, maybe he can catch up to Javzo here. It looks like he has so much more speed. Survives everything. Will anyone clip there the inside? Just look at the amount of speed Scrappy has. Got the wall ride line on point. Let's start off top 5 with Granadi, and we still have Volnera and the Tricky, who did get saved at the very end of some rounds. And they're still in it, still doing really well. Let's see, like, this corner can also be quite important, because you cannot really afford to save it that much. Granadi gets it the best, but nobody really messes it up that much. So everyone is still in the game. I think Tricky got it the worst, but it can still be decided in the wall ride, because he might just overtake Carl here. Carl with some issues, but Volnera is dropping down his speed so much, same as Scrappy, so it might be Scrappy actually going out here. And just look at the times now. So it seems like the wall ride is really important as well. Just looked like both Tricky and Carl just might be fighting for that orange spot, but then both of them got the wall ride on point and managed to overtake 2 other players. So we got Granadi versus 3 French-speaking players. Let's see who's gonna take this. Like all of them almost the same going through that drift there. Let's see if Tricky can just survive this. Oh, like surely he's gotta go out this time. Surely this is the end. Because these guys can afford to release if they want. Vulnera gets it. Just wasn't meant to be for Tricky, but I think he should be happy with how far he made it. After those mistakes exactly in, I don't know, like 10 rounds ago or something. Might have been less, like 5 or 6 rounds ago. So we've got the 2 players going left there, which is just slightly faster, and then we got Volner who goes under that construction block. But then he gets the best drift with the multiple world champion right now in last. Of course, he can still catch up. We've seen him catch up so much in the wall ride, so we cannot count him out yet. And no bigger mistakes. Carl drops down in speed so much, I think he's just gonna go too safe there for this stage of the cup. So even with a sick wall ride, I think he is relying on a mistake maybe from Vulnera. No, he gets it. So it is Granadi versus Vulnera in the 1v1. Carl maybe should have pushed a bit harder there in the downhill. But of course it's easy to say after the round has played out. So Vulnera already a full Carling behind. I definitely know what that feels like. So let's see who's gonna get the better drift through here. I think Granadi has it. Just barely, but around the same amount of speed. So they're still super close. Now let's see this drift. Will anyone pull a Tricky here? It looks like Vulnera does, but he crashes on the other side. So Granadi just needs to save it at this point. If he is on TeamSpeak with someone, then I'm sure he is well aware of the situation. Like he can't afford to release so much there, and he gets it. So Granadi wins. I think he had just a 1 dodgy round out of 23, so well deserved. And congratulations to Granadi for winning another edition.